What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the Uverse? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the 2 weeks of the year that I actually like my damn tree that's in the front of my house. I got a crabapple tree in my house, and in the spring, it actually blooms, and you gotta admit, it's kind of pretty. Let's roll that intro. Don't worry guys, this is not turning into a tree channel. No, this is still all about Empress and motorcycles and motorcycle life and getting out there in the mountains and in the canyons and having a lot of fun. So bear with me. It's just the tree is pretty for 2 weeks, so I figured it was a nice little background. So what we are doing today is we are finally getting around to installing the Akrapovic exhaust on Empress. Yeah. Finally, I know. It's been hurting me and it's been killing me just as much as it's been hurting you. Yeah, but we're finally going to do it. So what we'll start off with is I've got Empress warmed up and we will do a sound check at about, I don't know, it's about 30 inches off of the exhaust at a little angle. I've got her set down into sport mode for the first time in a year. Since I've had her. So we'll do a sound test at sport mode, then I'll step it up to track mode, and then we'll do race mode, and just see if there's any change, because I know it changes the way the butterfly valve actuates, so that way you can tell what the 3 different modes sound like with the stock exhaust. We will then run down all the tools that you need in order to do this installation per the Akrapovic exhaust installation manual. And then we'll finally get to the install. What I'm not going to do today, because I've got an appointment tomorrow with Bart down at Imperial Sport Bikes, MtnMoto. He's going to do the flash and get all that taken care of. And hopefully next weekend, in like 3 or 4 days, I'll get her back. We'll do a full weight test and we'll do the sound check with the Akrapovic, and that'll wrap it up, but that'll be in a second video. We'll also do the dyno testing, and I'll disclose what this puppy put out when she was fully broken in with the stock exhaust, and what she put out once she was fully broken in and completely recalibrated and adjusted and auto-tuned to the new Akrapovic exhaust. We will do another dyno day. That'll be the third, I guess, third video. In this Akrapovic installation series. I'm sorry it got broken down like this. It's just the way real life worked, man. I could not get time to do it. But anyway, let's get to the sound test. Start her up. All right, let's switch to track. Here's track mode. And now we'll switch over to race. Seriously, that bike is so sexy. Even with a stock exhaust, it sounds so damn good. Let me turn around and get some light on my face. Sounds so damn good. I can't wait to get this Akrapovic. Let's run down the tools real quick. Spread out before you are all the tools that we need to do this. So these are the packages that you get in the kit. So you've got the nuts and screws and bolts and anti-seize and more thread locker and your exhaust straps and your springs and your standoff and blah blah blah. And then we need a wide assortment of Allen keys, everything from a 3mm So we got a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, I believe. Yeah, 6 millimeter. And then metric spanners, we've got an 8 millimeter, a 10, a 12, and a 13. It also said a 13 millimeter socket. Said you needed a small flathead screwdriver. Needed something to pull the springs. Needed a Torx 30 and a Torx 45. And then I am adding dikes or diagonal side cutters to this list because talking to my buddy Bart, he said if I want to put the stock exhaust on it, they've got tons of cables. Don't worry about trying to pull the cable out and keep it all in one piece. Just cut it and yank it. It's really easy. I always use WD-40 to wipe down all of my exhaust piping and everything before first fire. Gets all of the residue off, and it's also what is listed in the Akrapovic manual. And this time I will be using nitrile or latex gloves. In this case they're nitrile, just to keep fingerprints to a minimum. And of course, being a southern boy, sweet tea. All right, let's get to the install. Let's just knock the camera, dumbass. A couple things I'll add onto the list. Got my handy dandy little Z creeper here. Love this thing. And of course, for anybody who spends their time on their knees, Pep Boys knee guard. Any kind of foam rubber will help. So let's get started. Slap on the gloves. Hate having fat hands. I think this one is the 30. Yep, 30. We got a 6 right here with the 13 in the back. Down here, the 13 socket. That cat is still warm, so be careful with that. So instructions say to pull that cable off. I'm just gonna cut them. Dike, dike. Those are cut. Whew. Come on. She's coming. There's that exhaust off. Then we gotta pull this metal collar out. All right, with the cam gone, next thing we gotta do, 4 millimeter. We gotta get to the exhaust valve servo, which is hiding behind the right side of the bike. Remember, all references are to as you're sitting on the bike. So that one's a 4 millimeter. This one's a 5. That is, pardon my reach, the 12. No, that's a 13. And that does go all the way through, so we don't have to worry about changing our standoff height. All right, so those two wires are, you just take them off of the actuator. This is the only wire, the bottom wire is the only one you actually have to disconnect and just tuck it back. Same thing with those. We'll zip tie them here in just a second. Put the standoff back in there. 12 again. 13 millimeters, snug it back down. All right, fairings back in. That's actually rather weighty. So with them cut, I can just yank. Look at that, just comes right out. So those are the actuator cables that the braided line is pulling right out of it. Don't need that anymore. More weight savings. All right, I think we're on to the install, surprisingly enough. Time to weigh the Akrapovic. So I've got my scale right here. Let's put a piece of cardboard over it just to protect the carbon fiber and all that goodness. Turn it on. Wait for it to come up. Is that focusing? I don't know. God, this thing takes forever. All right, 0.0000 pounds, 0.00 ounces. So first thing we got is we got the carbon fiber hanger bracket. That weighs a whopping 3.25 ounces. Carbon fiber exhaust ring is an ounce, 1.25 ounces. Took me up to 4.5 ounces total. I'm not going to take these out of the bag. We do need all of these, so all of that is going on there. One thing you will carry over from the stock is this little trim ring on the hanger bracket on the rear sets. So you'll grab that, and then it's got a shorter bolt and its own nut and washer. So we will use all of those, and we are up to 11.75 ounces. And now for the coup de grace, the pièce de résistance, the thing that everybody wants to see. Well, at least that me want to see. Let's see, the Akrapovic can. So that's everything that will be going onto the bike. And that is a grand total of 4 pounds, 7.5 ounces. That is the weight of the Akrapovic, all the parts that we will be putting back on the bike. Okay, 2 additions to the list. One of them will be an additional 1.5 ounces onto that weight, and that is to cover the bolts, the spacers, and the washers that are needed for installing the carbon fiber hanger bracket. I forgot to grab that bag. Oops, my bad, but I want to be clear on this. The other thing that I forgot to add on the tool list, and I had it just sitting to the side and I forgot to put it out there, is a torque wrench. You will want to have a torque wrench because we got to torque some bolts and you got to torque them to spec, right? So yeah, doesn't have to be digital. Run down to Harbor Freight, run down to Lowe's, run down to wherever, and grab yourself a 3/8 inch drive torque wrench, and that should cover all of the ranges that you need. These are torqued to 22 Newton meters. So then the carbon fiber bracket, right? We take the bolt, washer, through the carbon fiber, through a spacer, and that goes in right here. Allegedly, there it is. Just get it started because we got another one. Bolt, washer, carbon fiber, spacer. This one is our 13 millimeter socket. Now, this is a very low torque value. Like I said, it's only 22 Newton meters, which is 16.2 pound-feet of torque. So we are just going to hand tighten these, and then I'm actually going to set the torque with the torque wrench. So just get them to snug up with your hand, and then we'll toss them on the torque wrench. Make sure the sucker's turned on. Make sure it's set to tighten. Oh, oh, duh. Back these suckers out. You know what I forgot to do? Thread locker. They say 3 to 4 drops, and I've seen multiple people do these different ways. I have always done just a stripe. stripe up the threads. It'll distribute around, get to all the threads, and lock everything in place. All right, now we can fully seat these and get them torqued to spec. And we are tight. All right, carbon fiber bracket is installed. She looks stealth, it barely even shows up in the frame. Onto the exhaust. All right, guys, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get the rain. So I was trying to get this filmed while I was installing it, and it's just impossible because my head needed to be where the camera was. There's a couple marks, engravings here on your stock pipe. You can see Aprilia, and then there's a whole bunch of icons in a line right here, and then you get this P1 box. I hope you guys can see that. So you set your spring. This is where your exhaust spring mounts to. You do that right there, and you just tighten it down hand tight. So the next step is don't throw everything down on the ground, but we get this connection. I can't remember what the alignment is. Let's see, on the link pipe. Okay, so this connector goes up above, and we actually want the bolt out, and looks like I'm gonna have to loosen. No, it's gonna just slip on. I might loosen that because it looks like it was compressing it a little bit. So that will be our T45. Let me just loosen that a little bit, get that a little loose. Loosey-goosey. All right, yeah. And it's got a nice little notch, so we want it right there. Whoa, what's in the way? Oh, that's not good. Let's see. Okay, so you see how I had to move that out of the way a little bit to, I had to slide that, slip that, where did that, there it is. I had to slip that pipe strap just a little bit to make it clear a bolt that's right down here on the swing arm mount. Just gonna get that sucker hand tight, and then we'll crawl underneath it and get a spring on there. Woohoo! She's getting there, boys. She is getting there. Springs on, clamps hand tight. We should still have, yeah, we got a little bit of wiggle in the jiggle right there, so we can mount the can. Make sure everything lines up. I almost forgot, we got to put on this ceramic anti-seize that they include. It just goes around this seal right here. We don't have to put it around the bottom, and smear it around. So I'm probably going to need some more than that. But at the same time as doing this and grabbing this, you will want to have another latex glove, because I now don't want to touch my exhaust. I'm just saying, just pointing it out. You might want to have that ready so you can just put on a new glove. And we'll put it on my finger. I'll smear it on here. We'll get a nice even coat, nice thin even coat all the way around. Where's my other spare glove? Right there. I always love putting on a second glove after you've had some gloves on and your hands are all nice and sweaty and sticky and don't want to go into the glove, just like this. Pinkies get crossed up. And first world problems, am I right? Am I right? Yep, first world problems. Oh, I'm installing my exhaust on my Aprilia and my gloves are giving me a hard time. Oh. Okay guys, one thing I just learned, it's all about location. Location, location, location. If you pay attention to this bracket, it goes on and fits absolutely perfectly one way. So it's very important that you have these tabs on this, the shorter of the angled on the top sides. If you have it on the longer, things will look completely wrong and you'll start cussing people, namely yourself. So yeah, with that way, and we've got the ceramic anti-seize nice and smoothly coated, slide that on there. We got to align everything just right. Get this. Oh, look at that. There we go. And then we're just like that. I don't have the bolt. Dude, why didn't I grab the bolt? I'm a dumbass. That's that bolt, and that's that bolt. Okay, where's my knife? There's my knife. I can hold it in place. I can throw a washer on the floor. Alrighty. And we've got that fancy trim ring that we grabbed off of here, remember? We'll use this shorter bolt, and then we will go through the carbon fibers on the support ring, through the hanging bracket, and then washer and nut. Okay, so I just want to confirm that if you order this Akrapovic bracket, which I will have listed in the description down below, this does work for the Tuono, even though Akrapovic says just for the Aprilia RSV V4. Clearly, it fits on the Tuono V4 as well. All right, and that is 13 mil on the back side, and I'm about to fall off my chair again. 17, 18, 19, 20, 22.4. Torqued to spec. All right. Now let's do these springs. All right. My springs are in place. Now we go around and we double check torques. There we go. Let's give her a wipe. Spray her down with some WD-40. Make her shine all nice and pretty. Well, all right. Shine down the metal, wipe down the metal parts. Wipe down your tubes. All of this new stuff that we're gonna wanna turn nice and same color as our factory collector. We will wipe that down with WD-40. And there we go, guys. It is just that easy to install that beautiful Akrapovic for race only carbon fiber can onto a Tuono V4, in this case a 2018 factory, also known as Empress. Empress the Great, Empress the Destructor, Empress the Tyrant. No, she's just my Empress. Last thing to do, let's measure what the stock exhaust was. Again, I've got, oh, you guys aren't gonna be able to see that. Trust me, I've got my scale zeroed. My scale is zeroed out. Toss the cables on there. There's that hanger bolt that went into the rear set, the end of the rear set. There's the heat shield. Stay. Are you gonna stay? You gonna play nice? Yeah. There's the heat shield and its 3 screws. There's that actuator. We're up to 2 pounds, 2.25 ounces. We haven't even gotten to the can yet. And this can has a butterfly valve, and the can, and the catalytic converter. You stay up here. Let's see if we can get, no, turn this over like this. Yeah, that's pretty well balanced. Put that back on there. Dude, 15 pounds, 0.5 ounces. That's what came off the bike. You guys saw what I put back on the bike. And that's all it takes. That is all it, yeah, I say it like, dude, trust me, that wasn't that easy actually. There was a lot of fit and finish. There was a lot of finding out if this fit there or here and tweaking. And I've been out here for 2 hours now. So it took me about 2 hours. That's honestly not too bad, but yeah, it was a little bit challenging. Definitely follow the instructions. You definitely want to have a lot more tools. I can definitely take off these sweaty gloves now. And I cannot wait to hear this puppy purr with this beautiful carbon fiber excellence on it. Oh, but until the next time, guys, you know I love each and every one of you guys. I will see you guys out in the canyons. Keep that shiny side up. Peace. She is beautiful. I got a clean rag. Clean rag right here. Let's polish this baby. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, she's sexy.